Part 1: Why I started learning English. I still remember the day I decided to take my English learning seriously. I was sitting at my desk, looking at a motivational video on YouTube. The speaker was talking with so much confidence, passion, and clarity, in English. I didn't understand every word, but something inside me said, one day, I want to speak like that. At that moment, I realized that learning English was not just a school subject. It was a key. A key to understanding the world better. A key to opportunities. A key to expressing myself in a new way. I thought about all the books I could read, the people I could meet, the podcasts I could listen to, and the dreams I could chase, if I could speak English well. But learning a language takes time, and I was not sure where to begin. That's when I decided to build a routine, a daily habit that would help me grow step by step. I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to be consistent. In this story, I want to share my English learning routine with you. Not just what I do, but also how it feels. I want to tell you about my mornings, my commutes, my weekends, and the little tricks I use to keep going. I hope that my story can inspire you, and that you will find something helpful for your own learning journey. Let me take you into a day in my life, through the eyes of someone who is learning English with hope, passion, and persistence. Part 2: My favorite English moment, mornings with words. Every morning, as soon as I open my eyes, I don't reach for my phone to check social media. Instead, I reach for a small notebook and a short English text that I prepared the night before. It's become my favorite part of the day. While the world is still quiet, I sit on my bed, or sometimes near the window if the sun is up, and I read a few lines in English. It can be a short article, a paragraph from a book, or even a motivational quote. I don't worry about reading too much. Just a few lines are enough to get my brain working and my heart inspired. As I read, I pay attention to the words. I underline the ones I don't know. But I don't stop there. I choose the most useful ones, the words I know I will use again and again in my daily conversations. I write them in my notebook, and next to each word, I write the meaning in simple English or in French if I need to. Sometimes I even draw a little picture to remember it better. Then, I try to make 1 or 2 short sentences using those new words. That's my way of telling my brain, this is important, remember it. This small practice usually takes 10 to 15 minutes, but it makes a big difference. It gives me a feeling of success early in the day. It reminds me that learning doesn't have to be hard or stressful. It can be soft, gentle, and joyful, like a quiet morning moment with a good friend. I've noticed that starting my day like this improves my focus in class. My brain is already active, and I feel more confident when I hear English around me. It also helps me feel connected to my goals. It's like planting a small seed every day and knowing that one day, it will become a big tree. I also write down one English sentence that inspires me. For example, every small step matters. I am becoming better every day. English is not a subject, it's a skill. These little reminders keep me motivated. Many people say they don't have time to learn English. But the truth is, it's not about time, it's about habit. Just reading a few lines each morning can change everything. If you want to make progress, start your day in English. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it, right after you wake up. Part 3: Learning on the go, podcasts and sunshine. After a long day of classes, most students just want to relax or scroll on their phones. But for me, the learning doesn't stop when I leave the school building. In fact, one of my favorite parts of the day begins the moment I step outside. As I walk home, I put in my earphones and open my podcast app. I always choose something in English, sometimes a story, sometimes a conversation, and sometimes motivational episodes that speak directly to the heart. The voices of native speakers, the rhythm of their speech, and the new expressions, they all become part of my afternoon soundtrack. Some days, I don't go straight home. Instead, I stop at the park. There's one not far from school where the sun shines beautifully in the late afternoon. I sit on a bench, close my eyes, and listen. The birds are singing, children are laughing in the background, and I'm learning, without even opening a book. It feels peaceful. And that's what I love about podcasts. They make English feel natural. I don't have to force myself to sit and study. I just listen, enjoy, and let the language enter my mind slowly, like sunlight warming my skin. At first, I didn't understand everything. Sometimes, I would only catch a few words. But I didn't give up. I told myself, it's okay. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to get better. And with time, my ears got stronger. I started to recognize words, understand full sentences, and even laugh at jokes in English. That felt like a big victory. Now, podcasts are more than just a tool. They are part of my life. They help me improve my listening skills, learn natural expressions, and hear real conversations. And because I listen every day, I've created a habit that feels effortless. Here's a little tip for you: choose podcasts that match your interests. If you love stories, find English story podcasts. If you like learning about life, listen to simple motivational podcasts. And don't worry about understanding everything. Just keep listening. Your brain is smart, it will start to recognize patterns, sounds, and meanings over time. Sometimes, I repeat the same podcast twice in a week. The first time, I just listen. The second time, I try to write down some new words or phrases. That helps me connect listening with writing. And when I walk in the park with the sun on my face and English in my ears, I smile. Because I know, this is how progress is made. One step, one word, one sunny afternoon at a time. Part 4, Weekend Practice, Writing to My Friends. The weekend is special for many reasons. It's a break from classes. It's a chance to rest. But for me, weekends also mean something else. It's time to connect with people and with the English language. Every Saturday or Sunday, I take time to write to my friends who are also learning English. Most of them live in different cities, some even in different countries. But we share something powerful: the desire to become better English speakers. We write simple messages. Nothing too long. Sometimes we talk about our week, our favorite new English word, or what we're struggling with. Other times, we share jokes or funny mistakes we made in English. It feels like we're on the same journey, even if we're far apart. Writing helps me in many ways. First, it forces me to use English in real life. Not just to answer grammar questions in class, but to actually say something, to express myself, my thoughts, my feelings. And because I'm writing to friends, I don't feel pressure to be perfect. I just try to be clear and kind. Second, writing makes me aware of my mistakes. When I write something and I'm not sure about a word or sentence, I look it up. I double-check the grammar. I try to make it better. And that small effort teaches me so much. I also created a small challenge with one of my friends. Every weekend, we choose a topic and we both write one paragraph about it in English. It can be my favorite memory, why I love learning, or a lesson I learned this week. After we finish, we read each other's paragraph and give feedback. This simple routine makes English more fun. It makes it feel like a game, not a test. Sometimes, we even send short voice notes to each other in English. The first time I recorded my voice, I felt nervous. I was scared of making mistakes or sounding strange. But my friend encouraged me. And now, I feel more confident. I even smile when I hear my own progress. If you want to grow in English, don't learn alone. Find a partner, a friend, or a small group. Practice together. Share your wins. Laugh at your mistakes. Cheer each other on. English is more than a language. It's a bridge. And writing to my friends every weekend reminds me that learning can be beautiful, especially when it brings people closer. Part 5, My Tools and Tricks, What Helps Me Learn Faster. Learning English every day isn't always easy. There are good days and hard days. But what makes the journey smoother are the tools and little tricks I use to stay focused and excited. Over time, I've created a personal English toolbox, things that help me learn faster and smarter. Let me share some of them with you. My vocabulary notebook. I already told you about my morning habit of writing new words. But what I didn't tell you is how I review them. Every evening, before I go to bed, I open my notebook and look at the new words I wrote that morning. I read them out loud, try to remember the meaning, and say a sentence using each word. Sometimes I use colored pens to highlight the most common verbs, adjectives, or phrasal verbs. Colors help my memory. I also make little boxes next to each word. When I use the word in real life, I tick the box. It feels so good to see the boxes fill up. Language apps. There are many apps, but I use a few simple ones. I have one for vocabulary flashcards, one for pronunciation practice, and one that helps me translate and check grammar when I'm not sure. But I don't spend hours on apps. I use them in small moments. When I'm waiting in line, or during a short break. I treat it like a mini game, not a lesson. Subtitles with YouTube videos. Sometimes, when I watch videos on YouTube in English, I turn on the subtitles. First, I watch with English subtitles to connect the sound and the spelling. If a word catches my attention, I pause, write it down, and replay that part. Later, I try to watch the same video without subtitles. It trains my ear and builds my confidence. I realize, hey, I understand more now than before. Speaking to myself. Yes, I talk to myself in English. Not loudly, don't worry, but when I'm alone, I practice saying short phrases. Today I feel tired. Tomorrow I will finish my assignment. I really like that book. These small phrases help me think in English. It's like warming up before a big game. And over time, speaking feels more natural. Weekly mini goals. Every Sunday, I write 3 small English goals for the week. For example, learn 10 new words and use them. Watch 2 podcast episodes and summarize them. Write 1 paragraph about a topic I care about. When I complete my goals, I reward myself. Maybe with my favorite snack, or an extra hour in the park, or just a happy dance in my room. These are my tricks. They're simple, but powerful. The secret is not in doing everything, but in doing something every day, with joy and patience. If you want to grow, create your own English toolbox. Use what works for you. Make learning personal. Make it fun. And most of all, keep going. Because every day you choose to practice, you're one step closer to fluency. Part 6, Mistakes and Growth, How I Stay Motivated. I wish I could say that learning English has been easy every single day. But that wouldn't be true. I've made many mistakes, spoken the wrong words, misunderstood a podcast, spelled things wrong, even froze during a conversation because I didn't know what to say. At first, every mistake felt like failure. I would feel embarrassed, frustrated, or even question if I was really good enough to learn this language. But then, something changed. One day, I was listening to a podcast and the speaker said, "Mistakes are proof that you're trying." That sentence hit me like lightning. I paused the episode, rewound it, and listened again. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. That's when I realized, mistakes are not the end. They are part of the process. In fact, they are the most important part of the process. Because each time I make a mistake, I learn something new. So instead of being afraid of mistakes, I started welcoming them. When I write something wrong, I review it, correct it, and write it again, this time with more confidence. When I say the wrong word, I laugh, repeat the sentence with the right word, and move on. It becomes a funny memory instead of a painful one. When I don't understand something, I pause, search for the answer, and promise myself to keep learning until it makes sense. And little by little, I noticed something magical. My confidence started to grow. I stopped being scared of looking silly. I gave myself permission to learn slowly, honestly, and with love. Now, I see every mistake as a step forward. Each error is a lesson. Each struggle is building my strength. Just like when you go to the gym, you don't get stronger by staying comfortable. You grow when you push yourself. Language learning is the same. My motivation trick. Whenever I feel tired or discouraged, I look back. I open my old notebooks and read the sentences I wrote months ago. I listen to voice notes I recorded at the beginning. And I smile. Because I can hear the progress. I can see the growth. I realize how far I've come. I also remind myself why I'm learning English. To open new doors. To connect with more people. To express myself more freely. To build a better future. Those reasons keep me going, even when things get hard. So, if you're learning English and you feel stuck, I want to tell you this: don't give up. You are doing better than you think. Every mistake is a sign of courage. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep believing. Growth takes time, but it's always worth it. Part 7: Little Wins, the Small Victories That Matter. When people think about success in English, they often imagine big moments, like giving a speech, passing an exam, or having a full conversation with a native speaker. But for me, the moments that matter most are the small victories. Those tiny wins that happen quietly, sometimes when no one is watching. I remember the first time I understood an entire sentence in a podcast without having to pause. I was walking home, the sun was setting, and I suddenly realized, wait. I didn't need to translate that in my head. I smiled so wide. It was a small thing, but it felt like climbing a mountain. Another time, in class, a teacher said something in English, and without thinking, I replied in English. It wasn't perfect, but it was natural. My classmates turned to look at me, surprised, and one of them said, "Wow, your English is getting good." That moment stayed in my heart. These are my little victories. They are not big. They don't get applause. But they are proof that I'm moving forward. Here are some other little wins that made me proud. Understanding a joke in English and laughing at the right time. Reading an entire article and only checking the dictionary twice. Helping a classmate understand a grammar rule. Being able to express a feeling or idea clearly in a message to my English-speaking friend. Using a new word I learned just that morning in a real conversation. Each of these moments reminded me, I don't need to be perfect to be proud. I just need to notice the progress. I started writing down these wins in a journal. Every week, I write a short note. This week, I learned. This week, I felt more confident when. This week, I tried something new in English. Looking back on those pages fills me with gratitude. It shows me that I'm not stuck. I'm growing. If you're learning English, I want you to notice your little wins too. Maybe you understood a new word today. Maybe you listened to a podcast and understood the topic. Maybe you wrote a full sentence without help. Celebrate that. Learning a language is like building a house. You don't lay all the bricks in one day. You place one, then another, then another. And slowly, something beautiful takes shape. So don't wait for the big victories. Celebrate the small ones. They're just as powerful. Because little by little, word by word, win by win, you're becoming the English speaker you always wanted to be. Part 8, Advice to Other Learners, Tips from My Journey. I'm not an English teacher. I'm not a native speaker. I'm just a student, like you, trying to get better day by day. But from my journey so far, I've learned a few things, real, honest lessons, that I believe can help anyone who's trying to improve their English. So, here are my favorite tips. They don't come from a textbook. They come from experience. Start small, but start today. Many people wait for the perfect moment to begin. They say, I'll start when I have time, or I need to be more organized first. But the truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. You don't need 2 hours a day. You just need 10 minutes to read, listen, or write something in English. Small efforts add up. Start small. Start now. And keep showing up. Create a routine, not a rule. Some people study with strict rules. I must do grammar every day, or I must learn 20 words per week. That works for some people. But for me, I've found that a flexible routine is better than a strict rule. I know that every morning, I read in English. I know that every afternoon, I listen to a podcast. I know that every weekend, I write. It's not a rule. It's a rhythm. And rhythm keeps me going, even when I feel tired. Make English part of your life. Don't treat English like a school subject you only study in class. Make it a part of your real life. Change your phone's language to English. Follow English-speaking YouTubers or Instagram accounts. Watch your favorite movies with English subtitles. Think in English when you're walking alone. Talk to your mirror in English, yes, it works. Make English something you live, not just something you study. Be kind to yourself. You will make mistakes. You will forget words. You will feel stuck sometimes. That's okay. You are not failing. You are learning. If a friend made a mistake while speaking your language, would you laugh at them? No, you would help them, encourage them. So be that kind of friend to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Say, it's okay, I'm getting better. I'm proud of the effort I made today. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Find your why. Learning English is hard if you don't know why you're doing it. So ask yourself, do I want to study abroad? Do I want to watch movies without subtitles? Do I want to get a better job? Do I want to express myself more freely? Write your reason down. Keep it close. Let it remind you, on the hard days, why you started. I'm still learning. I still have a long way to go. But every day, these small tips help me stay on track. So if you're learning English, I want to tell you this. You can do it. Not all at once. But step by step. With heart. With patience. And with hope. Part 9, Looking to the Future, My Dreams in English. Sometimes, when I close my eyes and imagine my future, I see a version of myself that speaks English with confidence and clarity. I'm not just studying the language, I'm using it to live my dreams. Learning English has opened a new door in my mind. Now, I don't just see local opportunities. I see global ones. I see myself traveling, studying abroad, giving presentations, meeting people from different countries, and even building a business that connects with the world. One of my biggest dreams is to create helpful content in English, maybe videos, books, or even online courses, to help other learners just like me. I want to tell them, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. I also dream of attending international conferences, where I can meet people who share my interests in technology, education, or artificial intelligence. I want to understand them, ask questions, and maybe even share my own ideas. All in English. And one day, I hope to travel to an English-speaking country, not as a tourist, but as a confident speaker who can connect with others, ask for directions, make friends, and feel at home in a different culture. Sometimes, when I watch interviews of successful people who speak English, I think, that could be me too. Not because I want to be famous, but because I want to communicate, contribute, and connect, and English helps me do that. Even in my personal life, I see how English will help me. Maybe I'll meet someone special who speaks English. Maybe I'll raise children one day and teach them both my native language and English. Maybe I'll read books that change my life, books I couldn't read without this language. Learning English isn't just about vocabulary and grammar. It's about preparing for a bigger future. It's about saying yes to more possibilities. So every time I read a new word, listen to a podcast, or write a sentence, I remind myself. This is for the future I'm building. Not just the future of passing an exam, but the future of becoming the woman I want to be, confident, international, open-minded, and ready to shine. Part 10: How English Changed My Life. When I look back at where I started, struggling with basic sentences, afraid to speak, unsure of every word, I feel proud. Learning English has not been a straight path. It's been full of small steps, early mornings, podcast-filled afternoons, and quiet weekend writing sessions. I've made mistakes, felt stuck, doubted myself, but I never gave up. And because of that, I've grown in ways I never imagined. English has changed the way I think, the way I see the world, and the way I see myself. It has given me confidence. It has given me connection. It has given me a voice. And now, one of my biggest dreams is coming true. Today, you're watching this video on my own YouTube channel, a project I created with courage, creativity, and purpose. This channel is more than just videos. It's a space where I share what I've learned, help others grow, and practice my English in a real, meaningful way. Starting this channel was scary. I worried about my accent. I worried about my grammar. But then I remembered, I didn't come this far to stop now. Now, I speak with pride. I share with joy. I teach with love. Every video I post is proof that English is not just a language I study. It's a tool I use to build my dreams, step by step. So, to everyone watching this, maybe you're at the beginning of your English journey. Maybe you've already started but feel stuck. Or maybe you just need someone to remind you that you can do this. Let me be that voice for you today. If I can do it, so can you. Start small. Stay consistent. Celebrate your little wins. And never, ever stop dreaming. Because one day, like me, you'll look back and realize, learning English didn't just change my language. It changed my life. And maybe, you'll be the one inspiring others too.